Hi, my green peeps. Dr. Wendy Dearborn here. This is just a quick video, and you know my videos are never quick, so just roll with me on that. But this is just a quick video to answer a question that one of our green peeps had actually posted on the Green is for Life Facebook page. So Karl, thank you for your post and thank you for your question. And I understood your question to say that you actually eat tofu, both the silken and the regular tofu. And you've also seen lots of controversial information that's out there about soy. So what I'm going to say to you is this. I'm going to start out, and this is for everybody who read the post, and this is for everybody. Do your own due diligence. It is so important that you do what's right for you. Now, in answer to your question, I actually read the article, and I find what the gentleman, and I'm assuming it's a gentleman. I didn't actually even look to see who's written it. I'm assuming it's the same gentleman on whose page it is. You know, he's made some valid points. However, again, it's really important that you do your own due diligence. He spoke about soy. Products or food containing soy impairing the immune system. And he spoke about this because there are chemicals in soybeans. There are chemicals that are present in soybeans that are called phytoestrogens. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a master aromatherapist, there are phytoestrogens or photoestrogens, depending on where you are in the world, that are in everything. Every plant contains photo or phytoestrogens. This is why, as a master aromatherapist, I can create, using essential oils, using aromatherapy, I can create blends that can literally control a woman's cycle. Literally, it can control it. So right there, soy isn't the only plant that has phytoestrogens. The reader went on to talk about research that was done with mice and rats. Well, as I've said in my book, if you overload yourself on plants, actually, or on any food, anything, period, if you have too much of it, yeah, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem because, in essence, what you have done is you've poisoned yourself, and your body is going to react a certain way. And this is very true of, for me, the research that they've done. Very, very true of the research that they've done. They speak about soy creating infertility. Again, do your own due diligence, and some of this is just the thought process. If this was true, really, really, really true, when you look at Asia major, and Asia minor, when you look at the Asiatic countries where soy is a serious, where tofu and soy are a serious part of their dietary regime, I'm thinking that infertility is not a problem. I'm thinking that infertility is not a problem. He went on to talk about soy creating thyroid disorders. And again, it would relate to the soy being able to disrupt our endocrine system, of which the thyroid is a part. The thyroid actually governs the body's ability to metabolite. It's metabolism. You know how hot, high, cold, does your heart beat fast, how your lungs move. This is what your thyroid governs, in addition to producing calcium in the blood. So, he talks about that. Well, yeah, that would go to number one, if you're overeating it. He also talks about soy, creating brain damage and linking it to Alzheimer's. But you see, the actual study was done on elderly Japanese American, and in parenthesis, the American goes with that because that would have been part of the diet, I'm sure. That would have been part of the diet. And as far as I'm concerned, there are far more things that create brain damage than what you're eating. Also, what you think impacts the way your brain and you function. They speak about infant abnormalities. Well, yeah, they're getting infant abnormalities with babies drinking regular cow's milk. They're having reactions to that. They're having serious reactions to that. They were having the same steroid reactions and the same problems as they're claiming soy's doing for children not being able to take antibiotics. They were having all these problems. They were having infant abnormalities, and this is post-birth. So it's just not soy. I mean, somebody went on to say that because of the phytoestrogens, if a baby has its formula or his or her formula, in a day, they will have the equivalent of 5 birth control pills. Well, while I can understand the whole phytoestrogen thing, and I get that, as I said, as a master aromatherapist, the name of the game is perhaps babies don't need to be drinking that kind of formula, or they don't need to be drinking formula, period. Maybe it's time we shifted from that and looked at the fact that perhaps after a certain age, they don't actually need milk. And if they do, how about a nut milk? How about coconut milk? How about coconut water? How about mixing it up a little bit? The article went on to say that 90% or 91% of all the soy grown in the United States. The article said, did you know that 91% of all the soy grown in the United States is genetically modified? No, I didn't know that, and I don't know that. And I actually don't know that to be true. And I don't. And what I'm going to say to you guys is, how do you know that to be true? Somebody's just said that, but how do you know that to be true? How do you know that to be true? You don't. That being said, that means that there is another 9% out there that is available to you that is not genetically modified. In the same way, I buy genetically modified soybeans. I purchase those. And I'm only going on what the people have told me. I don't know if it's true or false. I truly don't know. Even if they gave me seeds, I would not know if it was or if it wasn't genetically modified. I wouldn't know. But for those who are out there, they have it out there. That's what I choose to use. I use Nay soy, and it's genetically modified. I buy the beans, the Laura beans. You have to order them online. And I said this in a video already. You have to order them online. That's what I use. I make my own tofu. It's not that hard. You can make your own tofu. I'm going to do a video on that. They talk about, I mean, okay. And here's the rub for me. This is the thing that really got me, because I was talking to my sister. I was talking to Olivia about this. And here's the thing that got me. The writer talks about, soy products to avoid. And of course, he talks about tofu, and he talks about the textured vegetable protein, which is a soy protein isolate. It's made from powder, basically, or defatted soybeans. That's what it's made from. Okay, so he speaks about, avoiding that: soybean oil, soy milk, soy cheese, soy ice cream, soy yogurt, soy meat, soy protein, edamame, soy infant formula, and of course, and I agree with him on this score, try to avoid all processed food, never mind it just being soy. And many products, which is why we're having problems. Most products, they will contain soy, wheat, Xanthan gum. That's what it has in it. Sugar. And it's everything. If you have bread, you have that. If you have meat, you have that. Processed meat, if you have that. If you have processed vegetables, you have that. If you have anything that's processed, this is what it has in it. And so, yeah, we're running into problems. But anyway, he said avoid all of this. And then he goes on to say, or she goes on to say, I think it's a he, or he or she goes on to say what you should eat instead of soy. And he speaks about many vegans consume mock meat. And that's another thing. There are people out there who are vegan and their diet's horrendous. Their diet is totally horrendous. There's no balance in it. They're either really carb heavy or it's horrendous. But you see, they don't eat meat and they don't eat it for ethical reasons. And I respect that. However, their diet's horrendous. So many vegans consume mock meat. That in itself is always interesting to me. Typically made out of soybeans that are not fermented. So what the author is saying is that instead of eating tofu, whether silken or regular, instead of eating that, you can eat tempura. And hopefully I'm saying that right. It is T-E-M-P-E-H, tempura. Well, tempura is soybean cake that has been fermented. How can eating that be any different to eating tofu or silken tofu? And I get that there's a different process. I get the whole fermentation process. I understand that. I know what it means to ferment something. But the name of the game is, does fermentation take care of the genetically modified organism that was used to change the actual DNA structure of the plant? Now, I'm not a scientist, and for me, and do your own due diligence here, guys, but for me, Dr. Wendy, somehow I don't think fermentation takes care of the process. Does fermentation take care of the process of you are still eating soy and it can impair your immune system, or it can impair your ability to procreate? You can have fertility disorders. It will impair your thyroid, so you don't metabolize well. Your body doesn't metabolize well. And of course, give you brain damage. And of course, if you have babies and you're feeding babies, even with your own breast milk, it will cause infant abnormalities. Toxins. Does it not still contain the same soy isoflavones? Is it still not photo or phytoestrogenic? So again, guys, do your own due diligence. Do your own due diligence. If you are out there and you're saying that soy is this bad, then that means it doesn't matter whether it's fermented soy, i.e. soy sauce, tempura, miso. It doesn't matter if it's any of those. It's all the same. It's all the same. So, Karl, this is what I wanted to say to you, sweetheart. As far as I'm concerned, in regard to soy, everything in moderation. And if at all possible, if it says GMO, organic, GMO, non-GMO, then go for it. But keep doing what you're doing as long as you feel good. As long as you feel good, and listen to your body. So I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborn. This is longer than I had intended. Peace out, guys. I'll be back with a video soon. Woohoo!